Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only Mr. Greg Dickerson. And we are going to talk about something that I hope you picked up on. And in the videos this morning from Mr. Greg Dickerson, you have seen a level of excitement and vibration that I really haven't seen in the last couple of years. And I just got to ask him why. So, what's going on, big guy?
I'm about to flip bullish, man. I'm getting ready to flip bullish. So we've got, these
Oh, I'm
midterms
so
elections going to
excited.
be behind us. We've got CPI that's, it's going to be maxing out here soon. We've got layoffs starting, all these things. So I think here pretty soon, coming into next year, mid to next year, we might start to see a bottom in things to where Powell, when he said we can do all the destruction we want because we have the tools to fix it and reverse it, it's going to be off to the races again. So this is what I've been waiting for, is another 2020 opportunity, another 2009 opportunity, because those are only the real two that I've had in my lifetime in the markets to make these exponential
Big
moves.
moves, yeah. Big
Yeah,
moves.
yeah. So I'm waiting for, again, what this means is we could see a big dump, but once that pivot occurs, and a real pivot, not just slowing down, where Powell
Yeah.
puts his tools to work to reverse the damage they're doing, which is what they want. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of opportunity. So I'm excited. I can't wait to flip bullish because I've been bearish this whole time since last
Being
Thanksgiving.
bearish is no fun.
Well, it's risk management, so it's just
Yeah.
caution, risk management. It's just being smart, right? And I mean, I was a super bull all the way up in 2009. Didn't think that world would ever change, and I got a big wake up call. So
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I really have picked up on it. And what I really hear you saying is for the first time, you can sort of see the light, right? There's a rough timeline. You're not calling any dates, but it's just kind of a rough timeline. Basically, Powell told you he's going to break stuff. He's going to go higher because he knows how to fix that. And you're like, ooh, that's good news because
it's
he's just
never
going to
been
keep
this
raising.
telegraphed ever. I mean,
Exactly.
we've got a roadmap. I mean, he's told us exactly what he's going to do and when, to a degree, when, and we'll know because they're going to,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah. It's
know.
pretty. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
markets will be off to the races as soon as that happens. Now, bond yields are your caveat. That could create a little bit of turbulence there. We still have geopolitical things. We've got
Risks. Yeah.
obviously the war in Ukraine. You've got North Korea heating up. You've
Yeah.
got China and Taiwan heating up. So there's things that could derail stuff, but
Mhm.
those are temporary generally, unless just the whole world breaks out in war, and then, not going to matter anyways
We
at
got
that
different
point.
problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I think it's really fun to watch somebody call their shot and execute a plan and then get excited because you're like, I can almost see it. It's almost here. And yeah, this is going to be fun to watch you execute and do this because again, you have the ability to see opportunities several moves before most people. And really what really impresses me about you is just how many areas that you are fluent in, if not an expert in, right? Whether it be crypto or stocks or business or real estate or new development, value add. There's just so many there's so many avenues that you have skilled up and invested in yourself to learn. I'm just going to sit back with popcorn and watch you execute. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. And, I can't wait to be able to flip the whole narrative and just go, bull on.
Is it fair to say that there's some areas that probably will go bull on first? I'm thinking stocks first, right? Because they're
Oh, yeah.
usually a leading indicator.
Yeah, yeah, funny. Yeah, stocks generally are forward looking, right? So yeah, you'll generally see it there first. Real estate's that's like with the Titanic, right? It's going to take a
Right.
long
Move.
time to turn it. It's going to take a long time for it to go back the other way. It depends on how deep that goes. And then the tech sector again, innovation. That's the one thing with Kathy Woods that I do agree with is you're not going to keep innovation down. It's just we're going to keep innovating and it's going to keep getting better. It's just the values of where those things are going to go. And the thing about tech is they always innovate. So that means old tech gets replaced and values can't always stay where they are as we get new innovations and exponential progress in some of these areas. So yeah, markets are always forward looking. You'll see those in both ways, first. And again, we're not done with all the headwinds yet. There's still some
No,
out
no.
there, but we do have our signals now. The Fed, again, like I've been saying, as soon as you see inflation start to come down, as soon as you see the Fed start to back off, and if we do get a big situation, then the Fed's just, they've already said we're going to jump in. That was a big question. That a lot, that's the thing I want to drive home here. The big speculation and narrative is the Fed's not going to rescue anything this time. He said they were. at that last meeting. Nobody's talking about that. He said, I'm going to rescue if we break something. The narrative before was the Fed's not coming to the rescue.
Mm-hmm. And again, it needs to be a big something. I will say it's not these little things, right? That's something that's very clear. Something I have thought, and it'd be interesting to get your opinion on, is I think Powell's big mission is to break the Fed put. Right? There's been a feeling really since 2018, and again in 2020, that the Fed is going to bail everybody out. I'm curious about that because that's kind of counterintuitive to what Powell, I guess, just laid out. So what do you think about the Fed put? Is I don't think he's going to bail out Wall Street. Like if stocks fell 20%, I don't think there's a number on the S&P 500 that if it fell that would cause Powell to pivot. I think it's somewhere. I think it's probably in the credit market or a liquidity somewhere. But for example, if Wall Street fell 50% in a week, I don't think Powell pivots. Is that fair? Or do you think I'm wrong?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let. Well, I don't know. I mean, he
Okay.
said we've got the tools to fix
Yeah, he
things if
did.
we have a problem. So what does that mean? Does that mean the markets? Does it mean the bond market? Does it mean what does it mean?
Yeah,
So
no, I agree. Yeah, I don't know.
there are a lot of people that are relying on those 401ks to survive.
Sure. True.
So will he let that really go down below a certain level? I don't know. That number's been 50% in the past. They've always jumped in at 50%.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That was 2009 bottom. Before that, I don't know. I didn't follow the markets. You can go back and look at it. But my experience is we were about 50% down in the indices in 09. I don't think we even got close to that in the pandemic, but that was a different
No, at
situation. We were in the
30
30s,
something.
maybe
Yeah, 30
40 on
something.
something. So I don't know. I think once you start, if you're limiting down and you've got a big situation going on, they might let it go deeper, this
Okay.
time before they do something. But during the pandemic, if you remember, they said, hey, if we got to go and start buying stocks, we will.
Yeah, in
Question is, which stocks do
ETFs
you,
and
right? What
yeah.
do you buy? Because then you're picking and choosing and you're doing favors to companies that are
Yep.
publicly traded company. That's a difficult conversation in terms of how would they
Yeah.
actually prop things up? What is it that they'd actually do? How low could the markets actually go? We don't know because we've never let them go.
Yeah, I think I saw a post. This is on Twitter, so you never know if it's true or not. I think the Chinese government has asked Chinese banks to buy Chinese stocks. I don't know if that's true. I should really check that. See, I think it was FX Hedge posted that, so I have to go back and check. But you're right. Something that the Fed rule tool they deployed in 2020 was buying corporate debt. They'd never done that before. The next step, in my opinion, if things got really bad, I don't think they'll ever buy company stocks. I think they would buy indices or ETFs. Just a wild ass guess, because I don't think they want to pick winners and losers, to your point. But yeah, I mean, the Fed could do some amazing things in a time of stress.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see that we get there. But right now, the markets don't believe that they will let them go down. So
No, I agree. So I think that's just gonna be a lot of fun. I think you're right. I think we're set up right. You always say good times never last, bad times never last. I think there's somewhere between 6 and 9 months of pain ahead of us. More layoffs, negative GDP, recession. But some point mid to late next year, the Fed's going to come out and say, okay, and then we're going to see Greg get really, really excited.
yeah, and there's a lot to get through, like you said. I'm not
Yeah.
saying today's the day to make those moves,
No.
but there's some light at the end of the tunnel, and if we can continue on, land the plane softly, which potentially is still possible, and Powell kind of indicated at the meeting that he doesn't think that the lane is going to be so soft, but he just flat out said we're going to break stuff and then we'll fix it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I heard him say too. Greg, where can people find you?
GregDickerson.com.
Thank you so much.